Welcome. Ziggy1X here with another NieR reincarnation, and I'm just whipping these guys out back to back and making them real quick and dirty. So what we have here is we have the Japanese live stream for the big announcement for the NieR Automata / NieR Replicant. So let's go ahead and fast forward. Let's scrub through this a little bit and get an idea of what we're looking at. So few things I wanted to go over here. Let's see if it's going to, there we go. Everybody's looking happy, everybody's looking nice. I like seeing that. So I need to go ahead and, let's see what we got going on here. Where was it? There we go. So we've got the announcement here for the Automata / Replicant collaboration. We already watched the trailer for this in my last video. And so this is just going to be a replay of that, but they're doing a few things here. And someone else in my chat brought up that there may be a possibility, or a horrifying possibility, that we wouldn't actually be getting a new Automata or Replicant collaboration event, that we'd be getting a rerun of it, which means that the veteran players would only have up through the EX Hard 5, between the EX Hard and the EX, or the Hard and the EX Hard 5, which would only grant a very limited amount of gems to pull towards the collaboration. That would be highly unfortunate, and I don't think that's going to happen, because here's my reasoning behind this. These are new costumes. And typically a collaboration or a banner or something, or an event that goes with a banner, will be accompanied by those costumes. They won't add costumes to an existing event. What they'll do is they'll create a new one. And they sort of did this with Persona 5. There's a precedence here. So, and we're looking at it right here, right now. And with Persona 5, what they did is they released Queen and Joker in the first week. And they had the first part of the event. And then they released Crow. And well, actually they released Fox as well, but Fox was the handout unit, the welfare unit. But then they released Crow in the next week. And with that, we got a new event. And so we've got the banners for all of the Automata and all of the Replicant returning. So these will be banners that if you so choose, you can pull on. Now, there should be, in my opinion, some sort of extra flavoring added to these banners. First of all, they should be very accessible for newer players, but also there should be some rebalancing going on if these banners are going to be in any way desirable, because even though A2 is still a powerful character in her own right, she is a damage dealer and she has the stats, but mostly where damage dealers do their damage is in their passives, in Caged or Bold Vigor or Pursuit or anything along those lines, as well as with their character skill. And A2's character skill, while it started out good, and while 2P's character skill started out good as well, it has definitely been power crept. So while A2 can get into events and smack things around with very high attack stats and other things like that, she just does not have what it takes to keep up with the current meta. And so here we have our banner. This is going to be for the rerun of Automata. We're going to be seeing another one for Replicant. I don't know if they're going to do this or not. They've already done some tweaks to 9S and 2B, but I don't know if they're going to actually do more tweaks to make them more viable. We shall see. But for the most part, these banners, unless you really like the costumes and really like the characters, these are generally speaking going to be a pass. Now, something else that got brought up in my chat that I would like to go through is, will there be a part 2 or maybe even a part 3 of this banner? I seriously doubt there will be a part 3, because that would, first of all, they wouldn't get any traction on a part 3, because people would dive into the part 1 and then they would scrimp out for the part 2, and then they would just basically say, are you kidding me, for the part 3? So that would defeat the purpose. I think that would be just a horrendously bad move. It wouldn't make any sense. If they do it, they're idiots, frankly, and I don't think they're idiots, so they're not going to do it. So that's my rationale behind it. That's my statistical analysis of it, because I'm a very statistical individual. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we've got some events coming around here. We've got the reruns of the old events, which means that we're going to be able to awaken our 3-star handout costumes. So that's going to be our brother NieR, our Kaine, our Emil, our 9S, our 2B, and our A2. These are all going to be able to now be taken to Awakening 5, which is great. I've been staring at those third passes on all these characters saying, man, I wish I could unlock these. But now we're going to be able to do it. So that's where the rerun of the events are going to come in. Sorry, I got a dog barking in the background over there. And my daughters are supposed to be taking care of him right now. But whatever. So the next thing is that the banner. Okay, we're getting some goodies. This right here, let's go ahead and pause this actually. Let's take a look at this guy right here. This right there. That at first, I thought that was one of the Mama Exchange tokens. Okay, now it looks like a Mama Exchange token, and I believe I'll have to take a look at this at some point, but I believe that our current banner for the Mama Exchange tokens will be expiring, I want to say in early April. So this should still be going on in early April, which means there may be another form of exchange. I don't know, but this is interesting to me because I don't know what this symbol means. It looks like a mama. It's got the feet. It's got the square. I don't know what that is, though. I know what all this other stuff is, but I just do not know what that one symbol means. So one could hope. I've been screaming from the mountaintops for generic awakening materials. One could only hope. I'm not holding my breath, though, at this point. So that being said, let's go ahead and continue here. The new costumes, I strongly suspect will have their own event of sorts. And I do suspect there will be a part 2 to this, even though they did not announce this in the live stream. They set a precedence for this, unfortunately, with the celebratory banners. And what that means is that they basically made a big deal about the 3 new costumes, the Serapha, the Udil, and the Lavania, and basically didn't say another word about it. And then all of a sudden a surprise second banner release, which by the way had a much more limited window because the first banner had been out already for 2 weeks almost when the second banner came around, but both banners expired at the same time, which is a little horrifying when you think about it because the 2 best units of the bunch were Celebratory F66X, and I think she actually is the best of the bunch. She was on the second banner, but Celeb Serapha was also the best just raw damage dealer on the banner. So now we have a roadmap here, which means we also have another planned limited event, maybe collaboration, coming in the 6th month, which is going to be June. And so we also have the People in the World, which comes in the 5th month. And so very much looking forward to a new story. It also may mean that since this is coming out in the 5th month, we may not actually have an overlap of gems between the Automata and Replicant collaboration here versus when we get the new gems from the People in the World. But it does also mean with the new event coming up here that we will have the monthly reset coming up very shortly where we'll be able to cash in for a bunch of tickets and things like that. So that will help us out. I think that if I recall correctly, there's about 60-ish pulls tied into that. So that gives us a little bit of extra support, which is good. I'm glad for that. So this next unknown event is an unknown, but we got a couple things in here. I do like it when they post the roadmaps. So hopefully something very exciting. But plan for a second banner. Here's what my plan is right now. When this banner launches, I'm not going to pull on it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to just squirrel away my gems. I'm going to look at everybody else's shiny new 2Bs and Brother NieRs and everything else and be incredibly envious, but I'm going to hold off. And the reason for that, I'm going to hold off for 2 weeks. And the reason for that is because I suspect we will be getting a second banner with A2, with Kaine and Emil. That's my suspicion. And if that is the case, I will want to take all of them side by side. As much as I love 2B, I play the game competitively. And I want to be able to get the best value out, the best bang for my buck, essentially. I have a very limited pool of resources to work with. And in the absence of just going whole hog and spending, which Occasionally I'll do, but I'm not going to make a habit of it. So in outside of that, then I want to make sure that I'm being very, very choosy with what I invest in. So that would be my advice to everyone who doesn't feel completely flush with gems and is willing to wait. And I also think that will send a very clear message to the developers. Basically, don't mess with your player base when it comes to things like that. I know that surprise banners are not uncommon for gacha games, but this is a different game. This game has been treated very differently, and the way that banners have been handled, the way that character releases and things have been handled, has been pretty straightforward. So we also run through some numbers here, and I'm sure that there are some people who, by the way, this looks to me, I'm gonna pause this here, this looks to me like player power. So 0.02% of players have achieved over 500,000 player power. That actually is mind-boggling to me. And I'm in the 440 plus range. I'm at about I want to say I'm close to 460 right now. But so that's 0.4%. So I guess I'm in the top 1%, which is kind of cool. Excuse me. But that's if I'm interpreting this graph correctly. This is all in Japanese, so I actually don't know what I'm reading here, but I suspect that's what it is just because of the size of the numbers. So if we scrub through this a little bit more, let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, there's some things. They do an art contest and a couple other things in here. Yeah, go check out the live stream. It's good stuff. And I went through the whole thing, but I'm going to go ahead, for fear of rambling, leave it here. I think this is good that we're getting this information. I think that it's great that we're getting finally a Automata rerun. And I suspect we're going to have a full event, maybe a part 1 and part 2 of event. Maybe we'll have 4 parts of an event. Maybe we'll have 2 parts for NieR Automata and 2 parts for NieR Replicant. How cool would that be? Getting tons of gems, getting great stories, everything else. I would love that. So I'm going to leave it here. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.